Have you ever met someone who seems to live in a slightly more beautiful world? Not because their world is perfect, but because they choose to see its potential. This is the home of the idealist. She is on a constant, quiet quest. Her journey isn't for a pot of gold or a finish line. No, her quest is for something far more magical, harmony. She believes deep in her bones that a more connected and beautiful world is possible. This belief is not a flimsy wish. It is the very engine of her soul. It powers her through doubt and cynicism, whispering that every small act of creation matters. She trusts in the unseen threads that connect us all, and her life's work is to gently pull on them, bringing everything a little closer together. The idealist's greatest tool is her imagination. It is her compass, her map, and her travel companion all in one. Where others see a problem, she sees a story waiting to be told. Where others see chaos, she sees a pattern waiting to be discovered. Her mind is a vibrant studio filled with colors, symbols, and daydreams. She doesn't just think, she visualizes. She builds entire worlds inside her head, not as an escape, but as a blueprint. These mental landscapes are her practice ground, a place where she can experiment with ideas and explore possibilities without fear. Her imagination is not childish fantasy. It is a sacred space where the seeds of a better reality are nurtured and grown. This quest for harmony is not a passive one. The idealist is not someone who just sits and wishes for peace. She is an active participant in its creation. She seeks to understand the world, not to conquer it, but to connect with it. She listens to the quiet hum of the universe and tries to match its rhythm. She believes that harmony is found in the balance between things, between light and shadow, joy and sorrow, self and other. Her journey is one of seeing, truly seeing, the beauty in imperfection and the connections in diversity. It is a gentle but persistent effort to mend what is broken and celebrate what is whole, using creativity as her needle and thread. Ultimately, the idealist's journey is inward as much as it is outward. She understands that to create harmony in the world, she must first find it within herself. Her quest involves deep reflection and a willingness to sit with her own thoughts and feelings. She is a seeker of truths, but not the kind you find in a textbook. She seeks the truths that resonate in the heart. The journey is the destination for her. The process of searching, questioning, and creating is where she finds her deepest joy. It is in the quiet moments of reflection that she gathers her strength, clarifies her vision, and prepares to share her light with the world once more. The idealist is a master weaver. She takes the raw, messy threads of everyday life and spins them into something meaningful. Every conversation, every sunset, every challenge, it all becomes material for her loom. She doesn't just live through experiences. She processes them through a unique and creative lens. Her mind works like a beautiful, intricate machine, constantly sorting and connecting. She sees the world not as a series of random events, but as a collection of symbols and metaphors. A storm is not just bad weather, it's a symbol of inner turmoil. A budding flower is not just a plant, it's a metaphor for new beginnings. This way of seeing transforms the mundane into the magical. Her memory is not a dusty archive of facts, it is a vibrant visual gallery. When she recalls a moment, she doesn't just remember what happened. She remembers the quality of the light, the color of the sky, the feeling in the air. These sensory details are the pigments she uses to paint her ideas. She honors her experiences by giving them a new life, a new form. An argument with a friend might become a poem about misunderstanding. A moment of quiet joy might become a melody. She doesn't do this to escape reality, but to understand it more deeply. By turning her experiences into symbols, she can look at them from a distance, find their hidden meaning, and learn from them. This process of transformation is her sacred ritual. It is how she makes sense of the world and her place in it. She weaves together ideas from books, conversations, and her own quiet observations. She is a collector of inspiration, finding it in the most unexpected places. A line from a movie, a stranger's smile, the pattern on a leaf, it all goes into her creative cauldron. She then stirs it all together with her own unique perspective, her own hopes, and her own dreams. The result is something entirely new, a creation that is both deeply personal and universally resonant. She doesn't just create things. She creates connections between ideas, people, and experiences. Through this act of weaving, the idealist brings people together. Her creations, be they stories, songs, or simple conversations, act as bridges. They allow others to see the world through her hopeful eyes. They invite people into a shared space of imagination and reflection. When she shares a metaphor that perfectly captures a feeling, she reminds us that we are not alone in our experiences. Her ability to find the universal in the personal is a profound gift. She doesn't just show us her world, she helps us see the magic in our own. Her art is an invitation to look closer, feel deeper, and connect more authentically. The idealist does not walk her path alone. She is surrounded by a constellation of other archetypes, each one a friend and a teacher. She finds a kindred spirit in the artist, for they both speak the language of symbols and creation. While the artist might be driven by the raw, untamed urge to make, the idealist channels that creative energy toward a vision of harmony and connection. They are like two painters sharing a studio. One might be experimenting with chaotic splashes of color, while the other arranges those colors into a serene and balanced composition. They inspire each other, pushing the boundaries of what they can create together. The idealist gives the artist's work purpose, and the artist gives the idealist's vision form. She also shares a deep bond with the alchemist. Both are masters of transformation. The alchemist works with base metals, seeking to turn them into gold. The idealist works with experiences, seeking to turn confusion and pain into clarity and beauty. They understand that true change comes from a deep, internal process. They both know that you must break something down to its essential parts before you can build it into something new and more valuable. The alchemist focuses on the mystical elemental shift, while the idealist focuses on the creative and emotional transformation. Together, they remind us that everything, even our darkest moments, can be transformed into something luminous. In her quest for understanding, the idealist often walks alongside the discoverer. The discoverer is driven by curiosity, venturing into unknown territories to map the world. The idealist shares this love of exploration, but her journeys are often into the landscapes of the mind and heart. While the discoverer charts new continents, the idealist charts new ways of thinking and feeling. They are both seekers, constantly asking what if and why. The discoverer brings back facts and data, and the idealist takes that information and weaves it into a larger tapestry of meaning, exploring its impact on the human spirit and its potential to create a more harmonious world. Finally, she finds a powerful ally in the peacemaker. Both archetypes are fundamentally driven by a desire for harmony. The peacemaker works to resolve external conflicts, mediating disputes and building bridges between opposing sides. The idealist works on an internal level, seeking to resolve the conflicts between hope and despair, light and shadow, within herself and others. She creates the inner conditions for peace. The peacemaker builds the treaty, but the idealist writes the poem that makes everyone want to sign it. She provides the emotional and imaginative fuel that makes peace not just a contract, but a deeply felt reality. Together, they work to create a world that is not just free of conflict, but full of connection. The idealist is often mistaken for someone who only sees the bright side of life. A dreamer who lives with her head in the clouds, ignoring the harsh realities of the world. But this could not be further from the truth. The true idealist is not afraid of the dark. In fact, she knows that the brightest stars can only be seen against the blackest night. She understands that light and shadow are not enemies. They are partners in a cosmic dance. To deny the existence of pain, sorrow, and injustice would be to deny a fundamental part of the human experience. Her gift is not in ignoring the darkness, but in choosing to bring a candle into it. Her creativity is the tool she uses to navigate this complex landscape. When she encounters darkness, whether it's her own doubt or a problem in the world, she doesn't run from it. She gets curious about it. She studies its shape, its texture, its weight. Then she uses her imagination to transform it. She might write a story from the perspective of a villain to understand their motivations. She might paint a picture that captures the feeling of grief, giving it a form so that it can be seen and acknowledged. This is not about making the darkness pretty. It is about making it understandable. It is about finding the humanity within the struggle. This embrace of the whole picture is what makes her idealism so powerful. It is not a fragile, glass-half-full optimism. It is a resilient, battle-tested hope. She has looked into the abyss and has not been consumed by it. Instead, she has found inspiration there. She knows that true harmony cannot be built on a foundation of denial. It must be built on a foundation of acceptance. She accepts the messy, complicated, and sometimes painful reality of life, and then she rolls up her sleeves and gets to work, using her creativity to find a path towards something better. Her strength lies in her ability to hold both joy and sorrow in her hands at the same time. This is how she inspires positive change. She doesn't preach or demand that people be happy. Instead, she creates something that invites them to feel. Her work acknowledges the shadow but always points toward the light. It says, "I see your pain, I see your struggle, and I also see your strength. I see the possibility of healing." By embracing both sides of the coin, she creates a space where people can be their whole selves, a space where they don't have to pretend everything is okay. It is in this honest, compassionate space that true transformation can begin, both for the individual and for the community. So, what is the ultimate purpose of the idealist's quest? Well, it's not simply to dream of a better world. It is to create it, one clear idea at a time. Her primary mission is to create harmony, and honestly, this starts within herself. She constantly works to align her thoughts, her feelings, and her actions. She seeks an inner peace that is not dependent on external circumstances. This internal harmony is her sanctuary and her source of strength. From this centered place, she can then begin to create harmony in the world around her. She does this by building bridges of understanding, fostering empathy, and showing people the beauty they have in common. A crucial part of her purpose is to stimulate herself and others. The idealist is a lifelong learner, always hungry for new ideas and perspectives. She reads, she travels, she listens. But she doesn't just collect knowledge for its own sake. She uses it as a catalyst for creative thinking. She loves to ask provocative questions and explore unconventional ideas. She enjoys shaking things up, not to create chaos, but to break people out of their mental ruts. She wants to spark curiosity and wonder in others. She wants to remind them that the world is a vast and fascinating place, full of possibilities they may have never considered. Letting go is also central to the idealist purpose. She understands that growth is impossible if you are clinging to the past. She is skilled at identifying outdated beliefs and limiting thought patterns, both in herself and in others. She knows that these old ideas are like anchors, holding us back from sailing toward new horizons. With gentle compassion, she encourages a process of release. She doesn't force it. She simply illuminates the old belief and shows a more expansive, more hopeful alternative. She helps people see that letting go is not a loss, but an act of making space for something new and better to enter their lives. Ultimately, her purpose is to be a source of clarity. In a world that is often noisy, confusing, and overwhelming, the idealist offers a clear, guiding light. She distills complex emotions and chaotic situations into simple, powerful truths. She uses her creativity to cut through the noise and get to the heart of the matter. Her gift is to take a tangled mess of threads and patiently untangle them, revealing the beautiful pattern that was hidden within. She doesn't give people all the answers. Instead, she provides them with a clear perspective that empowers them to find their own answers. She offers a map, not a destination. Every archetype has a shadow, and the idealist is no exception. Her shadow is not malice or cruelty. It is a thick, disorienting fog of confusion. Because she lives so much in the world of ideas and possibilities, she can sometimes get lost there. The very imagination that is her greatest strength can turn against her. She might have so many ideas swirling in her head that she becomes paralyzed, unable to choose a path forward. The world can feel overwhelmingly complex, and her desire to find the perfect harmonious solution for everything can lead to a state of complete inaction. This is the shadow side, a place she calls obscurity. In this state of confusion, her vision becomes cloudy. The clear, vibrant images in her mind become murky and indistinct. She loses her connection to her inner compass. She might start to doubt her own perceptions and question her purpose. Is she just a foolish dreamer? Are her ideals unrealistic and naive? The cynical voices of the world, which she is usually so good at tuning out, can start to creep in. This fog of obscurity can be a lonely and frightening place for the idealist. She feels disconnected from her own inner light and from the world she so desperately wants to connect with. It feels like trying to navigate by starlight on a moonless, overcast night. How does she find her way out of the fog? The answer is simple, but not easy. She gets still. She stops trying to force a solution. She stops struggling against the confusion. Instead, she allows it to be there. She turns inward and begins the patient process of reflection. She might write in a journal, not to find answers, but simply to pour the jumble of her thoughts onto the page. She might go for a long walk in nature, allowing the rhythm of her footsteps to quiet her mind. She sits with the discomfort of not knowing, trusting that clarity will eventually emerge. It is an act of profound faith in her own inner wisdom. Slowly but surely, through this process of quiet reflection, the fog begins to lift. A single clear thought might emerge from the chaos. A new image might form in her mind. It's like the sun burning through the morning mist. Clarity does not arrive like a thunderclap. It arrives like a gentle dawn. This journey from confusion to clarity is a vital part of the idealist's path. It teaches her humility and patience. It reminds her that light is most precious after a period of darkness. And once she has found her own way back to the light, she is even better equipped to help others find their way out of their own fog. The gift that the idealist offers the world is idealism itself. But let's be very clear about what this means. Her idealism is not naivete. It is not a blind belief that everything will be fine. It is a hopeful vision, a guiding star. It is the conscious choice to focus on what could be, rather than getting stuck in what is. This is an act of creative courage. In a world that often rewards cynicism, choosing to be an idealist is a radical act. It is the belief that our dreams and our values are not just flimsy fantasies, but powerful forces for transformation. This hopeful vision acts as a guide. When we are lost in the darkness of our own doubts or the chaos of the world, the idealist's vision provides a point of light to navigate by. It reminds us of our highest potential. It gives us a direction to move toward, even when the path is not clear. This is not about having a rigid step-by-step plan. It is about having a destination in your heart. The idealist knows that the journey will be full of unexpected twists and turns. But as long as she keeps her eyes on that guiding star of her ideals, she knows she is moving in the right direction. Her idealism is also a catalyst for transformation. When she shares her vision with others, she doesn't just describe a beautiful future. She makes them feel it. She uses stories, images, and symbols to paint a picture so compelling that it inspires people to take action. She awakens a dormant hope within them. She helps them believe that they too have a role to play in creating a better world. Her idealism is not a passive state of being. It is an active, creative force that sets change in motion. It transforms apathy into engagement and despair into action. Think of her idealism as a seed. It may be small, but it contains the blueprint for a magnificent tree. The idealist plants these seeds of hope wherever she goes. She knows that not every seed will sprout. She knows that some will fall on rocky ground. But she plants them anyway. She nurtures them with her creativity and her unwavering belief in their potential. And when one of those seeds takes root and begins to grow, it can change the entire landscape. This is the profound, world-changing gift of the idealist, the stubborn, beautiful, and absolutely essential belief that a better world is not just possible, but is waiting to be created. There comes a point in the idealist's journey where her focus shifts. In the beginning, her quest is deeply personal. It is about finding her own inner harmony, clarifying her own vision, and learning to use her creative gifts. She is like someone building a lamp, carefully assembling the pieces and finding the right fuel. But eventually, the lamp is built, the fuel is found, and the time comes to light it. This is the moment the idealist transforms from a dreamer into a lighthouse. Her purpose is no longer just to see the light for herself, but to shine it for others. As a lighthouse, her role is not to command or control. A lighthouse doesn't tell ships where to go. It doesn't shout orders or judge their course. It simply stands on the shore and shines its light steadily and reliably. It reveals the hidden dangers, the rocks, the shallow waters, but it also illuminates the safe passage into the harbor. This is exactly what the idealist does. She doesn't offer easy answers or tell people what to do. Instead, she illuminates the landscape of their own lives, helping them to see their own challenges and their own paths to safety and peace more clearly. This act of illumination is done through her imagination and her art. A story she tells might help someone see a difficult relationship in a new light. A piece of music she creates might offer comfort to someone navigating a sea of grief. A simple question she asks might spark a moment of profound self-realization in a friend. Her creativity becomes a beam of light that cuts through the fog of confusion and despair. She helps others find their own inner harmony by showing them what harmony looks like, what it feels like. She offers them a vision of hope that they can hold on to as they navigate their own stormy seas. This transition from dreamer to lighthouse is the culmination of her journey. It is where her personal quest for harmony becomes a gift for the collective. She has traveled through her own darkness and found her way back to the light. Now, her greatest joy comes from holding that light steady for others. She has learned that her own inner peace is magnified when she helps someone else find theirs. She stands as a quiet, constant beacon, a testament to the power of hope, creativity, and the unwavering belief in a more beautiful world. Her light doesn't just show the way, it reminds us that there is a way. The beautiful truth is that the idealist is not some rare and mythical creature. She is an archetype that lives within each and every one of us. There is a part of you that dreams of a more harmonious world. There is a part of you that sees the potential for beauty in the chaos. There is a part of you that yearns to connect more deeply with yourself and with others. The final step in this journey is to recognize, embrace, and nurture that idealist within, to give her permission to come out and play, to trust her hopeful vision and her creative instincts. Embracing your inner idealist means allowing your imagination to be more than just a place for idle daydreams. It means treating it as a sacred workshop where you can build blueprints for a better life and a better world. It means starting to see your own experiences not just as things that happen to you, but as raw material for creation and understanding. It means looking for the symbols and metaphors in your own life. What story is your joy trying to tell you? What lesson is your struggle trying to teach you? By asking these questions, you begin to weave your own experiences into a tapestry of meaning. This is not a solitary endeavor. When we each embrace our inner idealist, we begin to find each other. We start to form a community of lighthouses, each one shining its unique light. Together, our individual beams of light combine to create a collective dawn. We can illuminate the path for each other, offering support, inspiration, and understanding. We can collaborate on creating a world that is more compassionate, more connected, and more beautiful. The harmony that the idealist seeks is not a destination to be reached by one, but a reality to be co-created by many. It is a collective enlightenment. So I invite you to be brave. Be an idealist. In a world that can often feel dark and fragmented, your hopeful vision is not a weakness, it is a superpower. Your creativity is not a frivolous hobby, it is an essential tool for healing and transformation. Listen to that quiet voice inside you that whispers of a more harmonious way of being. Nurture it, trust it, let it guide you. Shine your light, not because the world is perfect, but because it needs your light to become what it has the potential to be. Let's create a more beautiful world together, one hopeful vision at a time.